There is no justification for the treatment I'm receiving. I am given a strip search after I see my attorneys. Now that is unconscionable. There is a concerted attempt on the part of the correction system in this county to constantly place more stress and pressure on me than I experienced in the courtroom.
The months of preparation, pretrial hearings, the abortive attempt to seat a jury in Tallahassee, and the 4th week of the trial in Miami have not worn well with attorneys and Ted Bundy. Fatigue is becoming an important part of this trial. When court opened today, Bundy was sulking in his cell across the street at the Dade County Jail. Judge Edward D. Cowart questioned the jailer about his star prisoner.
Go ahead.
At approximately 1 o'clock this morning, my officers on duty on the 4th floor at the jail heard the sound of breaking glass coming from the safety cell area. 2 of the officers immediately responded to the area where they found broken glass all over the entranceway to Mr. Bundy's cell. On further examination, they found an orange had been thrown through the bars, smashing one of the 2 special lights that had been placed in cell 405 for Mr. Bundy. They attempted to collect all the glass and they found certain pieces of the glass missing. They then removed Mr. Bundy from cell 405 and placed him in cell 406, searched the cell and found additional pieces of glass in the back portion of the cell.
Judge Cowart, known throughout Florida for his tough but fair handling of trials, questioned other jailers and then sent a stern message to Bundy.
9:30, the court is going to reconvene, and if he has voluntarily absented himself as he has at this proceeding, the trial is going to continue. I want you to communicate that to him. I want him to be fully appraised of that. In that communication, I'm going to ask the bailiff, accompany the court reporter over there, so that there is recorded in this record the instructions that you give him and his reply. And if this man is not in court by 9:30, this case will proceed. Is there any question about that any of you want to ask the court about? All right. And the court will find him in contempt of this court for failing to be here at this time, and I will indicate to you that punishment or any sentence on that will be deferred until the case is over.
Just over 20 minutes passed before Bundy arrived. The jury was not present.
Mr. Bundy?
Yes, sir.
The court wants to talk to you a minute. Come up to the bar here. What happened? What happened?
Where? You mean in the jail?
The court was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. I want to tell you something, young man, and I want to tell you clearly and unequivocally so you understand. This court is not going to follow your schedule. This court is going to set the time when we convene and when we do not convene. I've given you every conceivable privilege to discuss matters with your counsel, to be with your counsel, and if there's any more delay in this court's proceeding occasioned by your voluntary acts, we're proceeding without you.
I've only exerted that part of my potential which is nonviolent.
You indicate to the court you're going to
No, I'm saying to the court. No, I'm saying to the court.
Seeking ye shall find, and knocking it'll be opened unto you. Remember that.
Praise
Always
God.
remember that phrase.
Hallelujah. Today was an extraordinary situation. I apologize to the court, but I don't apologize in one respect because I think it's warranted. There comes a time when I just have to say, whoa. And that's where we are. I've heard the court, I've had the sites, and
Let me say to you, if you say whoa as it relates to these proceedings anymore, I'm going to be using spurs and overcome that whoa.
Giddy up, as it were.
You bet. And this court is going to proceed on schedule without your voluntary interruption. Now that's all I want to communicate to you.
Only Judge Cowart has been able to resist the building pressure created by the hard-fought trial. And in his last comments to Bundy, the reason was very clear.
But I also want you to know that as forbearing as this court can be, it can also be just that strong. I don't think there's any equivocation on that in your mind.
I'm willing to accept the consequences for my actions, Your Honor, and anything I do I'm aware of what the court will do, and that's where we are.
Then we're together.
We sure are.
Bless your heart, and I just hope you stay with us, because if you don't, we'll miss you. All right?
In courtroom 4-1, Judge Edward Coward is very comfortable being the boss. In Miami, I'm David Larson, KCTS 9 Seattle, for Public Television.
Bring the jury in, Mr. White. Yes, sir.
When autopsies were performed on Tallahassee murder victims Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy, Police Sergeant Howard Winkler took pictures of a bite mark found on Lisa Levy's left buttock. Then the pictures were sent to this man, forensic dental expert Richard Souveron. Armed with a court order, Souveron said he visited Bundy in his Tallahassee jail cell and took impressions of his teeth. Later, Souveron declared, in his opinion, Bundy's teeth left that mark. Bundy himself argued against letting that testimony in today, but the judge ruled against him. Dr. Souveron, using pictures of the bite mark and pictures of Bundy's teeth, explained the peculiarities of teeth and what they tell him.
Whoever made this mark in the skin, in the flesh, had crooked teeth.
Comparing the oddities in Bundy's teeth to the characteristics of the bite, Souveron had this conclusion for the jury.
Can you tell us within a reasonable degree of dental certainty if those teeth made the marks on those photographs?
Yes, sir.
And what is that opinion, sir?
They made the marks.
The defense insists Dr. Souveron is wrong, that not enough has been done in the area of bite mark analysis to lend any credence to his conclusion, and they'll be trying to make the jury believe that too. Allison here in Newswatch 2 in Miami.
The photograph that I made,
And what is that?
it shows bite marks from
Before jury on bite mark analysis twice.
Can you tell us within a reasonable degree of dental certainty if those teeth made the marks on those photographs?
Yes, sir.
And what is that opinion, sir?
They made the marks. Same size. So if you bit with these four teeth, you would have a pattern. Each tooth would have relatively the same size. And when you look at this mark down and orient you anatomically, this is the bites that are in question here. This is a large blow-up of the bites that are in question.
All right, sir. Now, whenever we first began talking about bite mark comparison and